Hi, Stacy with Limelight Easy. We've had a bit of a rough few days. Since Friday, my mom entered the hospital, and she's the primary caretaker for my kids right now. At least for Nissa. And Nissa's the baby. She's 21 months, and my mom went to the hospital. Logan couldn't work, and it was getting kind of concerning because since Logan couldn't work, since he had to be watching the baby, what we were going to do. I nearly sent her down to Tucson to be with a friend of mine who could potentially take care of her. We never got that far for me to even ask the friend, but Logan's got to work. I can't do that with having to watch Nissa, and I can't care for Nissa. So it was a very difficult position to be in. Well, now we have decided to put Nissa in daycare, and it's going to cost us like $150 a week. I wish it was a month. $150 a week, which means that we will have to send our car back in order to cover the cost of the daycare. And because I can't watch her. And my mom is home now, but her health has not been the greatest for many years. She's not so bad off that she can't function or anything, but this past year has caused her own health to be affected because of her worry for me, and you know how that goes. Anyway, so we've decided to put Nissa in daycare. It breaks my heart. Nissa is I love all of my children, but there's something about babies that just bring this joy that you don't get any other way, the older children, they're very cute, and I have very sweet children. But this innocence about Nissa, because she's a baby, has really made this past year bearable. And now she's not home. And, anyways, so, her innocence and her learning and stuff like that has really made the last year bearable. And then the last couple of months, I finally have been able to hold her and hug her as much as I want during the day. But I can't do that anymore. I'm hardly seeing her. She was only at daycare starting yesterday, but I can tell I'm hardly going to see her. And when she is home, she wants Dad or Grandma because they've been her primary caretakers. And that is really hard for me. To not only not have access to her all day, but then when she is home, she doesn't want me. She wants the people that have been taking care of her. And so that's where she gets her time because she needs it, So I can see already I'm hardly going to have any time with her. And, I watched a video a few weeks back, 2-3 weeks ago, of Will Smith talking about fault versus responsibility. And I have to admit, I've been quite angry through this last year. I don't understand. I know that it's not my fault that I have Lyme disease. It just is. If anybody is to be blamed for it, it's potentially some lab somewhere that created this awful disease. If not, some tick somewhere decided to bite me that died long ago. Doctors I know don't fix this. could be angry at them, you know, that it's their fault that I'm not fixed, or any number of things. I've always been a person who's a self-advocate, as far as medical care and stuff, and that's how I ended up in the bee venom, and why I'm not going through the loops of doctors like most Lyme people are. And it's really easy to be angry about the Lyme disease and allow it to rule your life. And I refuse to let that happen. And I think, for the most part, I've done pretty good with still taking responsibility. This is my life. Responsibility for my life. And not be angry all the time about whose fault it is that I'm continuing to deal with the things that I'm dealing with. I try to choose thankfulness for the people that are in my lives. For the people that are in my life, and that have been uplifting and encouraging to me, and recognize that this is in my control to deal with, and that it is nobody else's fault. It's not my fault either. It just is. And that getting angry over it doesn't fix it. Getting angry over the fact that I don't see my baby anymore or much doesn't fix it. I could be upset about it, but you know what? It's my responsibility to get my ass out of this bed so that I can have her home again. And you know what? It has given me a bigger drive to do so. I mean, for the most part, I've done what I think I need to do to get there. The one area that I feel a little lazy on is exercises to strengthen my body, just because I'm so tired. You know, my thyroid is still not quite right. My iron is low. My vitamin D is probably low at this point. And I've been laying in bed for pretty much a year, but exclusively for 7 months now. Almost 8 months, I think. Since July, so that would be, almost 8 months, since this is getting toward the end of February. And I could be angry about all of this, but my responsibility to want to be a mom, and especially to Nissa, since she's so little and she has to have somebody caring for her at all times. I'm turning this toward responsibility for me to get out of this bed. Not at the prodding of anybody, just because I want out of this bed. And I sure hope all of the other Lyme people out there, whether you're doing bee venom or something else, that you choose responsibility instead of pointing fingers at fault of why your situation is the way that it is. Because that is the only way that you will get through this. Obviously, you have God. And honestly, he's probably the number one way of getting through this. But after that, stop blaming. Don't blame your doctors. Don't blame the people that are not responding the way that you want them to in your life. Don't blame somebody in a lab coat somewhere that you think created this disease. Don't even blame ticks or biting insects or however you think you got it. It doesn't matter. It's your responsibility to make yourself healthy. And so do what you think is best to get yourself there. And don't allow the Lyme disease to become your life. I know that I'm in this early, that I'm only a year into the having Lyme disease, and so some of you people that have been doing the Lyme disease for, oh gosh, probably decades, are probably going, you don't know. I may not, but I refuse to believe that there is no way to get through this. And I think the moment that you lose that is going to confirm what other people say, that there's no cure for this. And I refuse to believe that. And I refuse to believe that I can't get my life back. It's my responsibility to get my life back. Doesn't matter where the fault lies for how I got here. I don't know how on earth I've been talking for 10 minutes already, but the video from Will Smith is fantastic. And I highly, highly recommend you checking it out. You can find that in the link below. Have a good day.